Tamela Mann didn't just go under that knife. She flatlined. 6 minutes, no pulse, no oxygen, just silence and panic. Now ask yourself, how does a routine operation on a gospel legend turn into a near-death thriller worth youth? A Netflix documentary? How does a woman known for lifting souls with her voice seamed up fighting for her own on an ice-cold operating table? And here's Thekakar. Nobody said a word. Not the doctors, not the hospital, not even Tamela's team, until now. Leaked hospital footage, a suspicious delay in emergency response, and whispers about a mystery drug in her fore. Oh yeah, this isn't just a medical mishap. This smells like a full-blown cover-up. And get this, Dr. Jackie. Yes, the same reality TV Doc America loves was right there. But was helping or hiding something? You'll think this is dramatic. Oh honey, we arranged getting started because the momentum Milla's heart stopped beating. Summy Niels's agenda kicked in, and we happened in those 6 minutes will leave absolutely speechless. Stay tuned back, cause this isn't just a story. It's any topsy on the truth. Tamela Mann was supposed to walk on that stage and bring down the house. The curtains were ready to rise. The choir was in position. Fan Chad flown in from across the country just to feel the power of her voice in person. But instead, chaos screams, medics, and then silence. That wasn't the intro anyone expected because behind the curtain, Tamela Mann collapsed mid-prep, flatlined. No pulse, no movement, no sound. Just 6 minutes of total medical blackout that nearly ended everything. And now the truth about what really happened behind that operating room door is finally trickling out. And it is darker, messier, and far more sinister than anyone thought. Before the drama exploded backstage, Tama had reportedly been undergoing a routine surgery weeks prior. You know, one aft-hose surgery stars always describe as minor until it turns major. Source close to the Mann family claimed Tamela was having an internal procedure. Quiet, discreet, and scheduled under a different name to avoid media attention. But somehow complications arose during a recovery. And instead of going public, the team went silent. Classic cover-up behavior, or just privacy, gone wrong. That's where things get shady now. Let's talk about that moment. That or a fine breath, snatching, prey or demanding moment. Tamel's pulsed sappered for 6 whole minutes. That's 360 seconds. You could boil a pot of ramen in that time. But instead, the hospital room was filled with screaming Mackies, doctors in full panic mode, and Dr. Jackie. Yes, the same Bravo famous Dr. Jackie allegedly leading their resuscitation. Why her? Why now? Oh, think connections run deep, and we're just warming up. See, this wasn't Tamela's health scare. Longtime fans will remember that she's dealt with wet-related complications in the past, including knee surgeries and intensity struggles. She even dropped a fitness line after losing weight, a wellness movement built around her comeback. So, what went wrong this time? How does a woman who turned her health into her brand end up flatlining under knife? Insiders say this wasn't just about surgery. Allegedly, a new supplement Tama had been promoting, yes, the one she recently endorsed on Instagram, is under scrutiny. Unconfirmed reports suggest she'd been taking a blend that included unregulating pounds. The same kind of natural boosters that have landed dozens in theater. And guess who was backing that product? A private equity firm tied to celebrity diet scams. Memo, we've seen this before. Now, here's where it gets suspicious. One hospital staff member, speaking anonymously, of course, claims that the surgery Tama underwent wasn't even medically necessary. According to this insider, the real reason behind it was aesthetic. She allegedly wanted internal skin tightening and manor shaping after her dramatic weight loss. Now, we're not here to shame Gnome for wanting to feel confident. But when vanity surgeries go off, script and celebrities start dropping. Thepablick deserves some answers. And what about David Mann, her longtime husband and gospel partner? He was spotted pacing the hallways, visibly distraught, yelling at someone on the phone. Eyewitnesses say he kept shouting, "This wasn't supposed to happen." They told Uzet was safe. Yikes. Safe? Clearly not. David reportedly had to be restrained from entering the OR while doctors performed emergency resuscitation. That alone tells you how close this came to disaster. Meanwhile, security footage from the hospital, which we obviously like and show because, hello HIPAA, allegedly captured nurses rushing in with a crash cart just 3 minutes after their flatline began. 3 minutes. That means for half the time, Tama may flee, waste technically. Dead, she was lying there without CPR. Is that negligence, understaffing, or a full-blown medical failure? Either way, someone dropped the ball. And let's not ignore the elephant in the hospital room, Dr. Jackie. What was her actual role in this? She's not just a reality TV star. She's a respected OB-GYN with years of experience. But was she the lead surgeon, an advisor, or just a friend on call? Because the hospital has yet to release any official statement naming her in connection with the procedure. Still, insiders say she was the one hobbled the team together post-collapse, and rumor has it she's the one who authorized the off-the-yard surgery plan in the first place. You heard that right, off-record. When the surgery was first scheduled, the hospital used Denali's, a fake patient name, to keep paparazzi away. But that also means internal tracking was limited. Nurses were, reportedly, confused about medication orders, allergic reactions, and prep procedures. It was chaos from start. One nurse allegedly told a friend, "It felt like we were flying blind." And you know what happens when you fly blind? You crash. Now, if you think the family was going to keep this quiet, think again. After the incident, David reportedly called a private investigator. What? Because he did trust the hospital's explanation. Sheg coded. That's what they told me. She just coded out of nowhere. That is version they gave. But nothing about this feels like nowhere. Not with so many shady puzzle pieces floating ground. Social media exploded the moment story leaked. Fans were horrified, confused, and angry. Why was she even in surgery? Is she okay? Where's Dr. Jackie? Theories spiraled. Some claiming poison. Others suspecting malpractice, and a few pointing fingers at her supplement company. Within hours, #Pray for Tamela was trending on Twitter. TikTok had conspiracy breakdowns. EndoTube health experts were suddenly diagnosing her from thumbnails. But what makes this scandal different and way more disturbing is the silence. The Mann family social media accounts went completely dark. No updates, no stories, no clarifications. Tama's daughter even disavowed comments. You don't do that unless something major is being hidden. That's when people started asking their old question, what's being covered up? And more importantly, why? Because if this really was a routine procedure gone wrong, we'd have a press release, a statement, a face-saving PR tour. But instead, nothing. It's not just leaked whispers, insider phone calls, and one too many anonymous tips landing in inboxes. When the truth finally comes out, and it will, someone's medical lessons might not survive the fallout. And just when you think it can't get darker, buckle up. Meanwhile, across the hallway, Dr. Jackie was pacing. Not out of medical concern, but pure panic. If word got out that Tamela flatlined for 6 full minutes on her table, it wouldn't just end her career. It could spark lawsuits, medical board reviews, and worst of all, public outrage. But there's where it gets murkier. A nurse, let's call her Nina, broke silence. Shuttled an anonymous blog that this wasn't the first time something went sideways under Dr. Jackie's knife. Allegedly, just last fall. a gospel singer from Baton Rouge was admitted for minor vocal cord treatment and left unable to sing for months. The incident was swept under the rug. No medical record, no press, just hush money and a rapid discharge. Nina claims Tamela's case was eerily similar, except this time the Flatlands caught on surveillance footage. But guess what? That footage is now mysteriously corrupted. Every camera in thought hallway blank. Every machine thought beeped when Tamela's heart stopped, reset, and the medical charts redacted, scribbled over, replaced by fresh sheets typed just hours after. The event. Now, let's talk motive. Why would Eniona cover this up? Simple. Tamela Mann is just a patient. She's a brand agri-mining powerhouse, a million-dollar voice insured by industry mogul. If Thepa Black learned she lost oxygen for 6 minutes, every show, every contract, every endorsement deal would hang in jeopardy. So instead, the narrative bashed out was Tamela collapsed from exhaustion. A soft, palatable lie one fans could digest, without asking too many questions. But exhaustion doesn't explain why paramedics weren't called for 7 full minutes. It doesn't explain the 4 drip full of drugs not listed on her chart. And it definitely doesn't explain why 2 nurses resigned next morning without even collecting their last paychecks. A former security guard from the hospital who now works nights at a casino dropped an anonymous voicemail that said, "I saw them sneak in that room. Someone in a business suit, not medical. He was carrying a black folder and whispering fast. He was there to help. He was there to fix something, fix or erase. And will let the hospital remain silent." Tamela went into full control mode. Her Instagram account, usually flooded with uplifting devotionals, went dark. Her husband, David Mann, normally outspoken and joyful, posted a cryptic black square with the caption, "When it rains, it floods." Fans immediately flooded the comments. "Are y'all okay? What happened backstage? Is Tamela still alive?" No answers. Came just silence. Then Kamithi twist no one saw coming. A TikToker sir who claimed to be backstage at Tamela's Las Vegas concert posted a video claiming she saw Tama slumped over on the floor with a team of 3 rushing her into a side exit. Not an ambulance. The clip got 5 million views in 24 hours, and then the account vanished, deleted. Now, let's rewind a bit. Why was Tama even under Dr. Jackie's care in the first place? According to whispers from the industry, Tamela had undergone a quiet procedure, a vocal rejuvenation surgery designed to keep her voice youthful and powerful. It's a higher-esque, higher word process. But it was never meant to be public. Insiders say this surgery was rushed, scheduled in between her gospel tours and a talk show taping. Dr. Jackie reportedly told staff, "This woman doesn't stop. If we don't squeeze it in, she'll have a nodule burst mid-performance." So the surgery went ahead. But the problem wasn't the procedure. It was what came after. Improper monitoring, unlicensed staff working overtime, and then silence. Fans noticed something else, too. When Tamela appeared briefly for a church event weeks later, her voice was different. Not bad, not broken, but off. One fan posted she sang, "Take Me to the King." And I swear it wasn't the same. I got chills, but not the good kind. Theories exploded online. Some say it wasn't her voice at all, that she was lip-syncing. Others believe her brain went without toxin. So long it altered her cognitive patterns. And then came the Alligator Hab retreat. Tamela was said to be recovering at a holistic center in Sedona, Arizona. But paparazzi photos showed something strange. A wheelchair pushed by a nurse while a woman covered in scarves and sunglasses was hidden behind it. The photo agency labeled it as Tamela Mann, but no confirmation ever came. What's even weirder, All persinkeries about Tamela's condition, Warrensword by her label. Not her doctors, not her family, but Sony Music, Faith Division. Why would a record label control her medical narrative? Unless, just maybe, they had a financial interest in how the story unfolded. And here's where things get chilling. A leaked insurance document, allegedly from a whistleblower, inside the label Shawita. $15 million policy taken out on Tamela just weeks before the surgery. The beneficiary, a non-profit tied to her gospel management team. Coincidence or premeditated setup? At this point, fans aren't just curious. They were furious. A Change.org petition demanding the truth about Tamela's collapse reached 100,000 signatures in 3 days. Church has begun holding prayer vigils, not just for Tamela's healing, but for justice. But while the public was praying, her team was plotting. One morning, all sorts results for Tamela Mann surgery were pushed off Google's front page, replaced by fluff articles. Tamela shares new devotional. Tamela and David's marriage tips. Tamela's favorite pound cake recipe. Damage control, disguised as devotion. Still, leaks persisted. A backstage audio clip surfaced online where a voice sounding eerily like David could be heard saying, "Jackie promised us this would borrow team. Now look, she's not the same. She's not the same." Was it frustration? Was it grief? Or was it guilt? And here's the kicker. Just before the audio cuts off, there's another voice, a woman's crying, whispering. Shefflet line, "David, you saw the monitor. We lost her." Which raises the ultimate question. Did Tamela Mann die and come back? Or is the woman we see now a curated illusion? You think the Dremmon's here? Think again. Because as we roll into the final chapter, the cover-up gets deeper. The stakes get higher, and the question on everyone's mind becomes impossible to ignore. Is Tamela Mann even alive in the way we once knew her? And just when you thought this roller coaster couldn't dip any lower, Tamela's inner circle begins to fracture. One assistant deletes all her socials. A backup singer starts hinting at toxic backstage secrets and now-deleted tweets. And get this, Tamela sound stylist drops an anonymous voicemail to a gossip site claiming this wasn't just a surgery gone wrong. She was set up. Set up by who? The Whispers family. You heard that right. Because of Tamela's cousin and a strange family room known for stirring drama during Mann family world tour mysteriously shoot up at the hospital not to check in but to pick up documents. Spittle staff flagged the visit as unusual and security footage allegedly shows Thekison slipping into Tamela's room before being escorted out. Now, hair swear, it all gets twistier than a Tyler Perry script on steroids. Rumors swirl that Tamela had secret insurance policies, not just one, but 3. 2 of them. Naming individuals complete line rated to her music career. Include Danga, former tour promoter who once sued her for a breach of contract. The other, Dr. Jackie. Yes, that Dr. Jackie. The one who performed the surgery and has since gone completely silent. When pressed by TMZ outside her Beverly Hills practice, Jackie just said, "No comment." Then rushed into a blacked-out SUV. But moments later, footage leaked of Jackie in a heated FaceTime call screaming. He told them she wasn't stable enough for it. Stable enough for what exactly? That's the million-dollar question Nora cashiting through industry boardrooms, social media, and even morning church services. Everyone's speculating. Was Tamela surgery a reckless decision? Or was it a well-timed hit to silence a Somi who was about to expose something bigger? Digging deeper, multiple former gospel artists under Thesm label as Tamela came forward anonymously, claiming that several vocal powerhouse women were systematically into dangerous health to maintain brand image and weight quotas. One excerpt stated, "We were and signing contracts. We were signing death warrants. It's giving Black Mirror." It's giving twisted industry cult energy, and it's giving Tamela might have been the first one to survive it barely. Meanwhile, fans are organizing. Candlelight vigils outside the hospital of Intho. Her PR team continues to post scheduled gospel verses as if nothing happened. That's right. One postulatorily read, "God's not done with yet." The irony, it dropped exactly 6 minutes after Tamela flatlined. You can't make this stuff up. Except maybe Simone did. Because now a whole new theory emerges. What if this is all part of a high-level industry rebrand? Think about it. Flatline resurrection, new voice, new label, new story. A miracle comeback already in production because insiders say Tyler Perry's camp is solidly circling the narrative for an exclusive rights. Duries. The working title, Tamela, 6 Minutes from Glory. And that brings us to the piece to resistance, the medical files. Late last night, anonymous files were uploaded to an encrypted file-sharing site. They appear to be scans of Tamela's pre-op evaluation, showing flagged heart issues, blood clot risks, and a red stamp that reads, "Do not clear for surgery" in bold caps. And guess what? That stamp was digitally removed in the version Dr. Jackie submitted to the surgical board. Yep. Somebody scrubbed it and somebodyized him off on it with a fake signature. As of this morning, the hospital has launched an internal probe. Dr. Jackie Ho's been placed on administrative leave. A third-party audit is now crawling through her past procedures. The whisper campaign is growing louder. How many other women didn't make it out of jockeys? Or where does that live, Tamela? Still unconscious, still fighting, and still being used as a pawn, a story that seems to get darker by the hour. Because if what we're seeing, though, is just the beginning, imagine what's still buried beneath the surface. The stage is set, the spotlight is on, but Tamela Mann's story isn't about the performance anymore. It's about the truth behind the curtain. Chad. Gypsade, before we wrap this up, take a breath, because if you made it this far, you already know this wasn't just a Tamela Mann collapsing for 6 minutes. This wasn't just some surgical mishap. This was a full-blown medical her show wrapped in silence, confusion, and cover-ups. And while the world was watching Gospel's Queen fight for her life, someone behind the curtain's pulling strings. So, let's talk about it. Who signed off on thought-tainted supplements? Why was Dr. Jackie called in so late? And what exactly was scrubbed from Tamela's medical records? Why did the hospital staff sign NAS like it was a top-secret government mission? And most importantly, why has no one, not a single major outlet, asked kids real questions? Because here's that truth no one's admitting. If it can happen to Tamela Mann, an icon, a legend, a beacon of faith and strength, it can happen to anyone. If her body can be exploited, silenced, and stitched back together without answers, then who's really safe? So, now it's your turn. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Do you think this was just medical error or a much deeper conspiracy? Smash that like button if you believe the truth deserves to be heard. Subscribe for more explosive breakdowns, because trust me,